Hello, welcome to the Konnekt 000-7 experience. Here, we come to the podcast where human connection is everything. If you're trying to connect better with those around you, you're in the right spot. So please, sit back, relax, open your mind, and enjoy the experience. What is up, Konnekt 000-7 Tribe? My name is Thaddeus Sims, and I am the host of this amazing podcast. And I would like to say happy Tuesday to you all, wherever you are at in the world. And I hope that your week is starting off amazingly. With that being said, today is our 85th episode titled Broken People. And this one's gonna be a bit different. We're gonna get on that. Okay, but gotta share the fun facts, and I have to share the announcements. And then we're gonna go into this episode. Okay, so the announcement, as you already know, the Konnekt Meetup is happening. I can't believe, it is happening very fast, less than 20 days. So if you are in the South Florida area, specifically like Palm Beach Gardens, Lake Park, Riviera, West Palm, there will be the Konnekt Meetup at Kelsey Park. It would be awesome just to meet everybody and just show you guys how to meditate and breathe and different things like that. So if you are close by, click on the link in the description and come and join and stuff like that. Get your ticket. It'll be nice and fun. And now let us go into the fun fact. The fun fact is J.K. Rowling chose the unusual name Hermione so young girls wouldn't be teased for being nerdy. By the way, just in case some of you are like, who the heck is J.K. Rowling? The one who, did Harry Potter. She's the one who wrote the books for Harry Potter. So just in case, because I know there are names that I think I should know, or people think I should know and I really don't. So if you don't know who she is, she's the one who did Harry Potter. Created the books. Now, the name Hermione came from the Shakespeare's A Winter's Tale. Rowling says when she chose the name, she didn't want a lot of fairly hard-working little girls to be teased if ever the book was published. So I was like, okay, interesting. So that's a fun fact. I like Mrs. Hermione Granger, so she was pretty cool. And yeah, the Harry Potter, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I finished the Harry Potters. I think I missed the movie. One of these days, I'll do a binge watch of the movie. But let us get into this podcast. And I think this episode might be a short one, guys. But I'd be saying that. And it may not be short. But I kind of feel like this one might be short. So we're going to give it to you cut and dry. Now, a good friend of mine, he suggested a topic, that would be good to go over. And the topic, actually, it was a Facebook post that he tagged me, and he said this would be good for the podcast, or he suggested it. And so I read it, and this is what it said. It said, some people don't want to be fixed because being broken gets them attention. And immediately I was like, ooh, that's deep. So I shared this with a few other people who listen to the podcast, and I shared it to them. Everybody was like, "Oh," I'm like, okay. So let's talk about this. So the topic: some people don't want to be fixed because being broken gets them attention. Now, when I was thinking of doing an episode for this podcast, I'm like, yeah, I can feel that. But I was like, how would I come at this with this episode? And I was sitting here asking myself, have I encountered people like this? Can I do an episode on this if I haven't encountered people? And I was like, well, I have. And I went through it, and I was just thinking, okay, now that it's fresh in my mind, how is it that I can make this an episode that actually helps people, right? Because I was like, I can just say, oh yeah, that's a topic. And then, you all be like, interesting. And we move on. But I was like, no, this is something that comes up, some people with wanting attention. Now, I figured I'm going to go at it in a way to help you guys. Number one, kind of like, I guess, experience, like, you if you see this person, like what to do, and also give you some insight on maybe to other things about it, but you're going to see. So it's really just like, okay, so what do you do when you encounter these type of people? And because, we're connecting with people. So what do you do when you're encountering them? Some insights that maybe you weren't aware of. And then just like last minute thing to do. So the first thing is what you do when you encounter these types of people. And if you haven't experienced this person, this is the type of person that they always are talking about their problems, like, oh, I don't have any money. Oh, I need to find a second job. Oh, my family is just not doing this. Every time that I try to do this one thing, no one seems to want to help me out. All types of different things, right? People seem like, just all types of problems. And so that's those type of people. I've come across those people mostly like in work environments, especially like in the serving industry. People are always talking about their problems and stuff like that. And it's just like, dang, man, it's like you always going through something. And those are the type of people who seem like they're forever going through something. When something good happens, it's like, is that a moment for you? And they always just find like something bad about it. Not saying that they're negative. I'm not trying to put that there because I kind of putting that, I don't want to have that lens on this. This is just for those people, for you to recognize them, right? Now, I usually, when people come to me with their problems, I suggest solutions, right? And when that's the first thing I say. That's like the first thing that you do, right? When you encounter these people, especially if it's like in an environment where you can't just, just walk out and just go. This is in those environments where you're just kind of there, like you're working or there's a project or there's some type of collaboration and you kind of have to be there. So this is what I mean, because any other time you can just be like, oh, okay, and keep it moving. But when you're there, it's like, okay, I have to be here. And this person is always talking about the problems. The first thing I always say is like, suggest a solution. Sometimes we could just listen, and I don't really do nothing. We just kind of annoyed. But the first thing to do is suggest a solution. So when they say, oh man, I'm not making any more money here. I need to pay these bills. And I'm like, okay, well, outside of this, what free time do you have? Like, can you do Uber? Could you do Uber Eats? Could you, maybe do some things online, like some genuine solutions. And if they say, oh, I never thought of that. Interesting. And if they act on them, good. That is great. That is awesome. You just help them out. But now when they don't act on them, as in, oh, I'm going through this issue, my kid's father isn't communicating and we always go through this. Have you throw some solutions. Oh, well, maybe blah, 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 whatever it is. And when it's like a good one and they don't act on it and you keep giving them some solutions, then at some point, this is where I say you have to go to the next level with this. So if you do the solutions and it worked, great. If you do give the solutions and it doesn't, and they don't act on them, then comes the next point, right? So I'm gonna take this with some levels, right? At some point, it's best to ask them, like, is this, like, when they keep bringing it to you and it's not working, and they're not acting on it, at some point you have to communicate properly and ask them, is this something that you really want to resolve, or you just want someone to listen? Because sometimes people don't want answers. Some people just want them to hear them, right? And now, when I first heard that, I'm immediately, a part of me was like, yeah, but why would I do that? Why would I subjugate myself to listening to them? Like, I don't know them like that, or I don't like them like that. Why should I waste my time to do that? But I say this because if you're someone you do kind of care for, like, not like they're a brother or sister, and if they are, well, then that's different. Well, not really. But if there's someone like you have like a little bit of care for, like, okay, they're cool, but they just have this one thing about them, just communicate and really ask them, not in a snarky way, but just ask them like, okay, hey, is this something you would like for me to just hear you and not really give you like solutions, or do you want me to just listen and just say the reason why I'm asking? Because sometimes we go through things and, sometimes we don't want to hear a solution. We just want to be able to vent it out. Right. And then there are some times where we do want to hear a solution. So I just want to make sure I'm giving you what you need, so that way you can ask that and let them know that's your intentions with it. You're not being an asshole. Right. You're letting them know this is my intentions. Like, I'm asking you, my intentions is to make sure I give you what it is that you're asking for. You want me to listen, or you would like me to really just give you solutions. If they say, I just like someone to listen to me and hear me out, you have a choice there if you would like to do that. And if you don't, then hey, nobody's gonna blame you. But what I will say, this is the part where I was like saying insight. When it does come to some insight, I was the type where like it really helped me to develop my listening skills, because sometimes you will find that people will just like talk to you because no one has ever like allowed them a space for them to like really listen to them. So just to clear that up, of what I mean is, like, let's just say you grew up and you had a very healthy relationship where you could communicate to your friends and family, like, okay, hey, this is what's going on. They listened to you and they actually gave you feedback, versus someone who had to fight to try to be heard, as in they had a bunch of relatives, and when they would try to communicate, they were just kind of like in the background, or they would try to get their mom's or father's attentions. Again, they were in the background. It wasn't as important. So no one really ever listened to them when they tried to express something that was bothering them, right? And so because of that, they developed this, I'm going to say, they developed this, I can't think of the proper word, but they just developed this habit to really just talk and share with someone who'd listen, because no one ever really gave them the space to actually hear them out. And I bring that insight to you because, like I said, a part of me, when I first heard this, I was just like, why am I fit to listen to them? I don't really care for them like that. Like, I'm just trying to get in here and get out. But when I came to understand, when someone actually broke it down to me, like, dude, like, I had all these different relatives, or I had this thing happen and I was not really able to express myself. So when I'm able to talk with someone, it actually feels really good. There was someone I used to work with. They always talk. In that particular case, they weren't getting it when I would suggest stuff. So I just had to leave them alone and go about my business. But just to throw the insight, what I'm saying to you on that one is, with that insight, the ball is in your court of if that's something that you would like to do to really develop your listening skills, and maybe that would work for them. Now, I say this too, to add on with this insight, is that sometimes when people want you to hear them out, and it's your call if you choose to, sometimes the people who are just like talking about their problems, sometimes they actually get the solutions when they voice it out, right? And like I said, sometimes people they want to be heard because no one ever listened to them. But when they do get a chance to, like, they just say, hey, I just want you to hear me out, they get things done, or they get the solution. And I'm sure many times you guys maybe had something that you were going through that was maybe like a little challenging. It wasn't probably like difficult, but when you were able to talk with someone about it, you ever had those moments where you're talking, like, and the solution just came to you, like you're like in mid sentence, like, wow, like it just came to me. And that's like what, in the spiritual community, we're always like, yeah, you need to move the energy, right? Just, you got to move the energy or express it. And I find myself sometimes, I know for me, that's what I need. Like, I know there's a certain friends who I know by me just talking with them, I'm going to figure it out, but I wouldn't do it. It wouldn't come to me just by myself. So I let them know, I'm like, hey, I have like something to run by you. You got a few minutes? Yeah. And I just talk with them. I'm like, hey, this is what I'm going through. This is what I'm experiencing, blah, blah, blah. And then next thing you know, wow, I'm literally saying, wow, I just figured out what it was. Then they're like, what? I'm like, I just figured out that the reason why I was going through this was because I wasn't aware of X, Y, and Z. And it always just happens that way. But that was one of those moments where it was like I didn't need that friend to give me a solution, but I just needed to express it. I just needed them to hear me out. And so that's why I say sometimes it's best to communicate and ask people, is this something that you would like for me to give you a solution, or you would like to be heard? Now, that was the example with that. And then this is the last thing. This is just when it just doesn't work. Like, you communicate it, they still not getting it, they just talk your ear off. At that point, you just have to walk away, and you just have to distance yourself from them. And eventually they'll get the gist, like, oh, okay, he ain't as receptive, he's not listening, or she's not listening. And you just keep it moving, because it's like, if it's doing more harm to you than good, then by all means you deserve to honor yourself and really just like walk away and distance yourself. And my intuition is telling me something about, like, okay, so with attention and walking away, like with the topic, so going back with the topic and stuff, that people don't want to be fixed because being broken gets them attention. There are some people I have encountered where I have suggested solutions, I communicated with them, and literally it was just like I would talk with them and suggest solutions, and I just see it just went over their head. Like, the vibe was like, I don't care for a solution. I just want to talk about the stuff that I'm going through. Like, you can just feel it. And there are some people, like, when you don't give them that attention, they will go to someone else and try to get that attention from them. And I just come to find that they have to be the one to figure it out. They have to be the one to fix it, because you can tell them stuff, but they may be mad because you trying to fix them, and they don't want to be fixed. They just really just wanted, attention, right? And I feel like this is a little bit different from the people who just want someone to hear them because they're, again, like, because of those circumstances. I feel like it's a little bit of a difference. So just to clear that up, so it's not a confusion, I feel like there are those people who are trying to, like, talk with you so that they can express it, and then they get the solution that way. Sometimes they may not know that that's what they're doing, but you'll find when you do allow yourself to listen to them, they'll get the solution, they'll act on it, and then they'll change things up, and they'll tell you, oh my gosh, like, I did this, like, after we talked, it came to me, I did blah, 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 and it worked out. Those are, I feel like they're in a different category. And then you just have those people who genuinely do not desire to be fixed. They want the attention. They want people to feel sorry for them. They want people to say, oh man, I'm so sorry that you're going through that here. They want the pity and things like that. That's what they like. And if you sense that and you pick that up, the best thing to do is just walk away and distance yourself and honor yourself with that, because you don't need that type of energy in your life. And if you know for sure this person really does not desire to be fixed or anything, leave it alone. It's up to them. They have to be the ones to make that decision. You know what? I'm tired of being broken. Let me actually, like, work on it. And to be honest with you too, 9 times out of 10, they know what to do. They really do know what to do to fix themselves, but they just don't want to. They just want someone to feel sorry for them. I've encountered that with some people. Like, I remember I literally was just talking with this person, and they were, I to this day, I get very shocked at how some people can be very blunt with me. And it's rare that I just get speechless, and it's rare that all I can say is wow. But I just had this one girl. She was a cool girl, and I was telling her stuff. Like, she was just, confiding in me on some things. And I was just telling her stuff, and the look in her eyes was just like, excuse my language, but the look in her eyes literally communicated, bitch, I didn't ask for solutions. Like, I just wanted you to hear, like, I just wanted you to feel sorry for me. And she legit, like, that was the energy that I got from her eyes and her facial expression. And she literally was just like, yeah, I ain't trying to look for solutions. Like, I just want somebody to feel sorry for me, because that's just what I need right now. I ain't trying to fix myself. Like, I just want somebody to feel sorry for me. And she literally just said that to me, and all I can say was, wow, okay. And she was like, yeah, but I know if I really wanted to fix this, I know what to do. I could just go do it. She literally told me the solutions to the problems that she was saying. I can literally just go do this, make this decision, make this change. But I honestly am lazy, and I really don't want to. And I just like the attention. Like, she literally just told me that. And I was just like, wow. And that's all I could say. I was like, okay, well, yeah. And she was like, yeah, that's really it. That's just what it is. She was like, yeah, I know I'm pretty fucked up, but yeah, it is what it is. And she just kept it moving. I was just like, wow. So you meet people like that, and the best thing to do is walk away and distance yourself. And I'm kind of getting intuitively that some people have a hard time walking away and distancing themselves because they want to help them. But I will tell you, you will help them by distancing yourself from them. Not only that, but you shouldn't subjugate yourself to that type of negativity and toxic. I can't even say the word toxicity, whatever. You guys know what I'm saying. That toxic person. You wouldn't want to deal with that, right? Like, for you, just understand, like, hey, they already know what to do. Just let me. Okay, I got that's what y'all needed to hear. Okay, just know they already know this how to fix themselves. 9 times out of 10 they do. And if you sense that they don't, and you literally went through these steps of communicating and suggesting solutions and they act on them, good. And if they don't, 9 times out of 10 they know what they're doing. So yeah, guys, that's really it on that part. Yeah, no questions. And we're literally gonna go with the health is wealth. And I really feel like this is going to be I feel like it's simple, but it's something that's not easily applied. And here's what I mean. So the health is wealth, the topic is learn when you operate the best. And what I mean by that is, are you a morning person? Are you an evening person? And are you a night person? Right? And a lot of people will say, they're really night people, and but they have these other, circumstances. And guys, I get it. Every single person's circumstances are different. I get that. At the same time, some of us make choices that got us into those circumstances, and then some. I'm not saying that I'm blaming you at all, but I will say that you had a hand in it. And I will say there are other things that were out of your control, right? So basically what I'm saying is that there is a mix of things. But when you learn, when you operate the best, you're able to handle things better and do things better. So here's what I mean. The only example I can give you is my example. Well, can I give you someone else's example? Yes, I actually can give you a few people's example. Okay, for me, I am a night person. I do not operate. I am not the best person in the morning. I really don't operate. It just messes up everything for me. I'm easily annoyed. I'm easily triggered. I'm just irritated. My body's not even fully, I feel like my body's not even fully functioning. Like, when you're waking up, like, I feel like my stomach is like still asleep. It's weird. It's just like, no. Evening time is like, I would say early morning for most people. So like how some people wake up like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. to start their day. That's how evening feels for me. It's like, I probably should start getting up, right? And it's about that time to maybe move around and do some things, get productive. But nighttime is where I thrive. Like, I can get so much stuff done. Many things are planned, and it works out too for business, because if you're working with people who are international, for me, when I work with people who are international, they're already up and operating. And then at the same time, by the time I do wake up and I have to do something business related, people are just getting off of work and I can talk with them. Then it just works out perfectly. Now, I know that the nighttime works for me. I would be crazy to do something that requires me to be up in the morning. I have tried that. I would try working at jobs because I was like, if I go to work early, that means I can get it out the way, come home, take a nap, and do what I need to do that night. But what would happen is I did that for so long that I was breaking up my sleep, and I was like pretty much kind of like really messing myself up big time, because it was like, okay, I'm going to bed like 4 a.m, knowing that I have to wake up like 7:30, right? And knowing by the time I get off of work, I'm going to try to come back home and take a nap to recover and then do my stuff and redo that pattern all over again. It was like, dude, morning is just not for you. You're not the best. Like you could force yourself, but you're not the best. And so that really like puts a hinder to my night activities, which is just for business. None of those activities, I promise you guys. But business and stuff like that, right? Those are the hours that I operate. And so one of the things why I brought this up is because one of the things that was brought up with other people in my tribe was that other people will tell you, you need to wake up early in the morning. You need to wake up like 4 or 5 to be productive. You need to do this by 4 to 7. You need to, I don't know, be exercising, doing whatever, fasting, eating breakfast. And then 9 to 5, you put that into your job or business. And then 5 to I think it was 5 till a certain amount of time, like 5 to 9, 5 to 8, you're out network. It was just like all these things to be successful, right? And you would hear people just say they were forcing themselves to change. And we talked about this with me and some of my friends. And I'm a night person, but I have a friend who is a morning person. He thrives in the morning. Like he's like, I can go to bed late, but I automatically wake up super early in the morning. And my body won't go back to sleep, and that's where he thrives. He was the complete opposite of me. I have another friend who's an evening person. They thrive best. So when they try to wake up early, they say, I feel like my spirit's not even in my body till around like later on down the day. Sorry, afternoon person. He's an afternoon person. He's like, I don't even feel like my spirit's in my body till around like 12 a.m. And once like 12 a.m. hits, he said he feels like this charge and he's like ready. And so I say like with this health is that you really need to learn the time that you operate best so that you can work to cater your lifestyle around it, just so you can reap the benefits and be your most productive self and do more things, right? For me, I exercise at night. By the time people are going to bed, like 11 p.m. to 1 a.m., I'm like, oh, this is a great time to go for a walk. It's perfect. You know what I mean? So it's like you really just have to find those times where you're most productive, and you'll find that life may be a bit more easier and a bit more in flow when you're in flow with yourself, because a lot of us are doing things that are out of harmony with ourselves. And there's many things that gets us out of harmony, but one of the things is learning the time that you operate best. So if you know for sure you are a morning person, it would probably be best that you do a lot of the things that you need to be very productive in the morning and knock them out. You'll be very surprised how fast and quick it'll take you to knock it out. And then when you know, okay, around afternoonish going to evening, I'm feeling a bit sluggish, like you start to adapt, but you start to feel good because the main things that you needed to be knocked out, they're already done early in the morning. So that is really the health is wealth portion on this, guys. Just being aware and knowing which type of person you are and working to just cater your life around that. And you never know. You'll see if things completely change like for the better for you, and you'll be able to, discover some more stuff. Now, this isn't like I'm just going to make this decision, because all of us have different lifestyles. Again, that's why I said different lifestyles, different circumstances, choices and things like that. Some of us can't just, make a decision, flip, I could do that. Sometimes we can, but like I said, I'm respecting that we all have different circumstances here and different things that we have to do in our lives. But it's just something to throw at you guys for your awareness. So with that being said, guys, that is it for this podcast episode. I look forward actually to speaking with you all this Friday. And I can't think of anything else. So you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this podcast and for me being a part of your Tuesday. And I look forward to speaking with you all very soon. Later. Thank you for listening to today's episode. Please leave a 5-star rating and share with a friend near you. Remember, the world's a better place because you exist. Know your worth and know thyself.